Good morning, I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill from the KMET Weather Center. For the Beaumont and Banning area, daytime hours, sunshine dominates. Highs are in the upper 50s. The daytime hours in the IE area, sunshine highs in the lower 60s. The afternoon hours in the Coachella Valley, sunshine dominates. Highs are in the mid to upper 60s. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We got a lot of things to talk about. It's the beginning of the week, so what is going to happen the rest of the week? Well, I guess we'll see. I'm going to say a big hello to Jess over there, who's doing some stuff. What's going on, Jess?
Good morning. Yes, I am just enjoying this beautiful day. Only to find out that, you know what? One of the reasons I don't look at the news on the weekend is in case anything bad happens, I don't want it to ruin my weekend.
I get that. It ruined my weekend, not gonna lie, but did it ruin as bad as it ruined the rest of the people here in Monterey Park? Yes, as I always say, I'm in the San Gabriel Valley, and usually whenever I say Monterey Park, people have no idea what I'm talking about. Monterey Park is where, I'm just gonna say, I do a lot of stuff, okay? I shop there. I know people there. I went to a high school down the street. I will say everyone's talking about Monterey Park right now, and if they didn't, they will this week, because it's like a what is going on situation. As some of you may know and some of you may not know, I know, Jess, you probably heard about it very little, but they're calling it the Monterey Park mass shooting. I would call it like even worse than that, because when you have a bunch of people shot, and granted, the numbers are still, there. There are some that are still, getting treated, obviously. Whenever you get shot, you don't want to be a bystander that gets shot and A, you either bye-bye, or B, you have to hope to get well, and hope you don't get like the virus at the hospital, right? And so there you go. So Jess, I really don't know, but I will say this: it's something that they're still trying to figure out. I don't really know if we're gonna get all the information, because I still have questions on this. They're calling it a hate crime. I really don't know why they're calling it a hate crime, because they found out it's an Asian man. So I don't know how you make it a hate crime unless he hated the people personally. But usually a hate crime denotes racial, right? Now, if this were someone who were not Asian, I would see it a hate crime. So I think I don't know what that classification means. I really don't. So if you guys can weigh in on that, that'd be great. That's number one. Number two, this person shot, evidently, according to the news that we have, and according to some of the footage I'm looking at, looks about right. He went to a second location and shot there. Now, I will say this, Jess. Usually, at least in the area of where I do a lot of stuff, including sometimes I bank there. It's right next to where the bank is at, like right there, right? So it happened at a dance studio, and I've seen this studio. I'm like, I wonder who does stuff there. Now the thing, and the reason it's so big, is it happened at, okay. Jess, again, New Year's is a big day for a lot of people in the U.S., right? And all around the world, right?
Oh, yes. We got New Year's and we got the Lunar New Year.
Well, the Lunar New Year is more Chinese than not, right? But it's a very big thing, and it's the year of the rabbit. Now, I did have somebody who used to, I think, be in the area. I remember going to, I think, lunch with her, went to Johnny Rockets, so we talked about it, and she was like, I think she ran for the city of Monterey Park, but she's like, I got out of politics because it's so dirty. But then she became an assembly person, so I'm like, oh, you got back into politics, because that's what she does. Anyway, she talked about, some things, and she posted something, and she posted the Chinese New Year, and then she posted the Vietnamese New Year. I didn't know they had a New Year, too. So they have the Year of the Cat. I didn't even know that was a thing. And yeah, meow. And the Chinese New Year is the Year of the Rabbit. So I'm like, why would you start a year like that all bad? Especially Monterey Park is known, if you want to, you go down the street of Monterey Park, all you're going to see is, I would even call it It wasn't always that way, by the way. It used to be a lot of Latin stores, but now it's all Chinese, right? Vietnamese and other stores are all like in the area. It's a very nice community, okay? Very rarely, there's some crazy people, not gonna lie. I told my mom, be careful there, 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 and there. But in a way, it's not like you have a lot of gun violence, right? I have heard in the middle of the night, like, pa, 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 like shooting. And I go, okay, that's going to be a thing. But it never makes the news, right? There's a lot of shootings that don't ever make the news. This made the news, and it made international news, like, right away. And there's been helicopters, there's helicopters right now in the area that have been up ever since the shooting at 10 o'clock at night on Saturday night, right? So they've been all over since Saturday night, Sunday morning, Sunday all day. I'm like, how much fuel does it cost to be here? I don't know if there are other news outlets. I would think there are other news outlets all covering it. But I'm like, how much, like, so they're just getting a shot, but they stay there. They stay there for a while. Maybe they're ready to go, like, live on air or something. They're getting in the spot and they kind of park it there. Anyway, the point is this. They're still hovering right now, so it's news all around the world. But the point is this. There are a lot of people dead because of it. And all because of a man. I'm going to, I'm still waiting on some of the information because I think it's going to come in hopefully today. What was this guy thinking? Because he's a older man. That's number one. When you look at the picture, you're like, that's a guy that would probably be like.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so have they released any information about this guy? Like, is he local to the area or, wait, how old did you say he was?
Well, I'm going to keep that open. He looks older. They said in the 70s.
Oh, God.
Yeah. So I'm like, but how do you get a guy like that with a gun that can kill a lot of people and shoot a bunch of people? Because I don't know how many he shot at. I don't know that information. I know there's some reports. I've seen it. Because, again, I have a lot of people in the area of Monterey Park. They're posting on social media. So I'm like, okay. And then it came up on Facebook. Like, do you want to mark yourself safe? I'm like, well, I'm not right there, you know what I mean? So it's like pretty obvious, I'm pretty safe. But the point is this. What, Jess? What are you thinking?
Oh my God. So I'm reading the article about this guy. He's from Hemet.
He's from your area?
Yes. I'm just like, as soon as I started reading, he's all like, yeah, he's a Hemet resident. I'm just like, oh my God.
Wow, you people over there, stay over there, man. Don't come anywhere near here. Okay, see, I didn't know that. I would have thought he was, a lot of people thought he was a local, and so that's the question. So, again, why a dance studio? And why two dance studios? Why would you hit two dance studios back to back, right? Did you get maybe a lesson and you were did somebody, you know what I mean? And then how did he get a gun like that where he could shoot a bunch of people? Now, the second studio, there is a hero being kind of like, said he just acted. He stopped the guy. I think he saw the gun or he didn't see the gun. There's footage of that. That's going around. And that guy stopped him right away, but he didn't capture him. So according to the information we have, he got shot later in like Sunday. Everybody was following it here. I'll give you an example. And my mom's like she goes to church, right? At that church, they canceled, but they did it all on Zoom. Some got upset. They're like, why don't we cancel? They got the guy. But I'm like, you know what? You don't understand. There's A lot of traffic. And B, oh, yeah, by the way, it's Chinese New Year. So they have a huge festivity there that they canceled on the day that usually they get a lot of bids. So I guess the best way I could say it is this was big, but I don't think it was. I don't really know what was in this guy's, like, you know what I mean? I didn't even know he was from Hemet. But a lot of the people are from all over. But again, Monterey Park is a very not talked about place where you have that, you know what I mean? There's like I said, a lot of Asian people. There's a lot of like places where, you have fun. Not gonna lie, I don't know of any good Asian food because I haven't been shown. Some people tell me, oh, this place is good, this place is good, this place is good. I actually remember a friend down the street. She said that she was sick one time. She says, "Can you pick this up for me?" I said, "Yeah, sure." And that was good, but it was a different type. It wasn't Chinese food. It was like another type. Oh, Thai food. It was Thai food. I remember now. That place is good, and it's on Garvey. Anyway, this happened on Garvey, man, just down the street. So I'm like, whoa. So anyway, you know how I say, be careful out there. You know how I say, I got hurt, in LA. Now in the area, I'm like, oh man, there's gonna be a bunch of shooting. Everybody's gonna be like, nah, 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 nah. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But you know what? All I can say is this: be careful out there wherever you live, and so there you go. Anyway, Jess, what's going on in the world?
Yeah, I don't know if I can top that. But yeah, I'm just like when I first heard the headline, I'm like, okay, so many things went through my mind just from the headline. I'm like, okay, it happened on the Lunar Eve festival, so I'm assuming it was a white dude. I was completely wrong. That's what happens.
Yeah,
But
well, that's the thing. I think they jumped on it. I
yeah,
think they jumped on, and then oh, back to my mom. So my mom was like, she got the update right away because everybody in the area that she knows is from like the area of Monterey Park and surrounding, right? So again, she goes to church there, right? So it's like right down the street of this place. I'm like, oh man, what if the guy goes to the church and he hates them all? You know what I mean? He's like, stop, I don't want to hear it, and then he shoots everybody, right? That would be next. I don't know. Like it's scary. But my point is this. What is my point? Oh, she found out right away. She was like, okay, this, that. I'm like, wow, you are quick, man. You are quicker than me. So I guess I know it's coming in. There'll be another. They've been having press conferences all day. I did see some of the stuff. I'm not going to show it on the air because it's pretty bloody. And when you think of like, again, people dead, you think, okay, there was a lot of blood. Okay, it's all over the place. So I'm like, I'm glad they closed the festival. I don't know if it was like a night of the festival because they keep their doors open during the festival, but it's like they corner off, and it's very rare that they do this. But in Monterey Park, and I know because I went with a friend once, we went like, because she goes, hey, let's go down there. I said, okay, because she practices like martial arts, right? And so she's like, let's go down there. I go, okay, but I'm like, whatever. And then I was like, wow, there's a lot of like, it's really cool. So they corner off just like any area, like when they do like a farmer's market or something. So they close that all off, and then they just have their little like festival, right? But it's only for the New Year. So that's what they did every single year. This one they canceled. So I don't know if it happened during that, because I know it was supposed to be on Sunday and that they, like cornering off and all that. I don't know if they started on Saturday. I didn't go there. But again, a lot of people got hurt. So, yeah. So anyway, there you go. But who would get hurt? Like, you go someplace to dance, you try to learn, and then you think, oh, you're going to be dead because of it. You know what I mean? That's kind of weird, don't you think?
oh yeah, no. Just the things that have been happening in the past 2 years has just been crazy. Like people getting stabbed at Walmart or Target or any of these other places. It's like you're just walking down the street and it happens. It's like, oh
I
my
think people
god.
are gonna get stabbed at Walmart, man. Did you see this? I have to say this. You're like, what? I shop there. Look, Walmart at some of the stores are not gonna get bags anymore. Here's the headline: Walmart stores in 6 states no longer provide single-use bags at checkout. Which states are next? Like, people are so mad right now. They get upset over like anything. You gotta be careful. I was playing. I have to say this. I'm gonna say this. I don't know if he says. I don't really care. I was playing a game with a guy on Magic, the Magic the Gathering, and we were playing in person, right? Anyway, he said something. He was totally lying, and he was like trying to get the girl, and the girl was with another guy. I was like, okay, whatever. Then you know how they team you up with the person against the person, and so he was playing, and there was that moment right at the end, and I'm like, okay. He goes, well, are you gonna attack me? I go, I don't know. I think I'm gonna hold. And then he goes, well, if you tag me, this, that. I'm like, okay. And so I go ahead and attack him, but then he counters it, and then I go, wow, you just lied. And then he got really upset. He's like, you know what the best thing is about being the owner of this store? I could kick anyone out and be all right with it. In essence, is what he said. I was like, over, huh? I just called, like, you did not lie. You totally lied. Now you're calling, like, what? He totally changed, man, right in front of me. I was like, what is wrong with this guy? So anyway, you got things like that happening. All I say is just chill, be all right with it, and then just be like, you know what, dude, like seriously, over a game that he lied about on the move. But at the end of the day, it's not like it's anything. It's like it's a game. You know what I mean? It's like you might as well play dominoes and be like, okay, I'm gonna take out my gun and shoot you. We weren't even playing for like, you know what I mean? It's like I could get like poker, like high stakes, like, like that, like he's playing the wrong game, man. I'm just like, why are you getting mad over that? I mean, you're the one that told me something, then you reneged on it, but whatever. So people are that right now. So be careful out there wherever you're at. That's what I'm going to say.
I'm pretty sure somewhere in history someone got stabbed over dominoes. I'm just saying, you know what? Even Parcheesi probably. Who knows?
I'm not going to lie, man. I want some like Chinese food right now. Just talking about this. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more right after this. Stay tuned. Yikes.
You're running out of letterhead. What do? Lithopass Printing. You need business cards. Now what? Lithopass Printing. Invitations to a wedding? Lithopass Printing and Banning is the answer. Lithopass Printing can provide banners, signs, and blueprints. Think of Lithopass Printing and Banning for quality graduation, birthday party, and baby shower invitations. Lithopass Printing also provides lamination, faxing, and photo prints. If you need it inked, make it Lithopass Printing. Lithopass Printing and Banning.
Hi, everyone. This is Bernadette, the host of One Life Radio, your #1 source for alternative and holistic health since 2011. One Life Radio is designed to educate and inspire. Visit us at oneliferadio.com because you get one body, you get one mind, and you get one life. Get out there today and make the most of it. Tune in weekdays at 1 p.m. on 1490 KMET Smart Talk, ABC News Radio.
New teen driver in the family? Just bought your first home? Have a new bundle of joy? Every life change matters, and by reviewing your insurance policy with Little & Sons Insurance Services, you could be benefiting with big savings. Little & Sons Insurance Services, a family-owned insurance agency who values the old-fashioned way of doing business. They work for you, not an insurance company, meaning your best interests are at heart. They can custom tailor your policy based on specific needs at a price you can afford. Home, auto, or business, you're covered. Call 1-844-9-LITTLE. That's 1-844-9-LITTLE, or go online to little, the letter N, sons.com. That's littleNsons.com.
The Holiday Inn Express in Suites and Banning is distinctively suited for your travel time out of the car. Off the road, you'll find a courteous, welcoming staff and spacious rooms with desks, flat-screen HD TVs, and comfortable furnishings. Enjoy the complimentary breakfast buffet, high-speed internet, and fitness center and pool. The Holiday Inn Express in Suites and Banning, conveniently located at the I-10 near golf, gaming, and entertainment. For reservations and information, call 951-572-5500. That's 951-572-5500, or go online at hiebanning.com.
The Fat Greek in Yucaipa, where you can get authentic, delicious, true Greek food. Authentic gyros, Greek salads, pitas, falafel, hamburgers, burritos, and oh yes, baklava. The Fat Greek has a large selection of wines, ice-cold domestic, and imported Greek beers. Come on down to the Fat Greek located on Yucaipa Boulevard in the city of Yucaipa. Open 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. The Fat Greek has delivery, drive-through, sit-down, and a catering service. So bring in a family or give Nicholas and Christopher a call at 909-797-6018. Eat Greek, live long. Remember, if you want authentic Greek food, it's the Fat Greek in Yucaipa.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. I do have footage that's actually better. I'm going to show you here right now, and Jess, you can kind of weigh in on this. Let me do it so you can actually see it. This was a situation. This is a camera, and I say I'm glad you guys have cameras in certain places, because I literally saw a post on Facebook of a group of Monterey Park, and it came up on my feed. I wasn't looking for it. It popped up, and people were like, dude, save your footage, because you never know if your footage got something. Some people have a dash cam. Some people have like a wall cam or like a Ring or something like it. Just keep it, because you never know if there's a shooting in the area, what police can like use. Because you could just send there and say, hey, I got this. You guys didn't see this. You might get a plate of a license or something like this. Again, they say this guy got caught. I'm not sure if he acted alone. It seems like he did. According to this footage, you go, what was this guy thinking? Now, the guy on the left is the hero. He's not the gun guy. He kind of looks like the gun guy. The guy that's the gun guy is one you would not see coming. I'm telling you, like, he would walk down the street and I would be like, you're packing? So here it is, Jess. Check it out. That's the what you see of the camera of the Alhambra store. Or I'm sorry, not store. The Alhambra, there's a lot of stores in the area though. The Alhambra dance location, but the guy on the left is the one who it looks like he wrestled the gun. I think that's what he has in his hand, the gun, away from the older guy who's like, give me that back, man. I want to shoot the wall. So what do you think, Jess?
Like, if you were to show me this picture with absolutely zero context, I would believe that the old guy was trying to stop the younger dude. That's in my mind. That's what's happening right now. So the fact that it's actually reversed is blowing my mind.
He does. It looks like he's ready to go shoot. And the guy's like, no, let me stop you, or it's my turn. Like they were a duo, man. It looks like that. But anyway, look. All right, so there you go. So I'm gonna stop sharing that with you over there at the studio. You got to keep your people there, Jess. Like, keep your Hammett people to you, and don't bring them over here, man, because they're hurting us. Anyway, you guys, social media, love you. Thank you very much. Patricia says, yeah, he was 72 years old. Yep, there you go. Says lived 80 miles away. Yep, there you go. Says it's a mental health crisis. Yep, there you go. Stephanie says, hello, happy editing and on set for this glorious, beautiful, snowy, busy day ahead for today. She lives in another area where it's very snow. Anyway, so that's the situation. I just saw this. I had to share. And the poster to the right is again Lai, right? Lai or Lele, I don't know. But it's a dance studio. Why a dance studio? I still don't know. I don't know if that information is coming in. You guys know more than me. All I know is there's still people in the area that they're probably gonna be here for a while because again, a lot of footage and a lot of like. But again, it's the older like. Does he have fam? Was he single? I got questions, man. And why is he from Hammett? Like, he totally, like, fits in Monterey Park. Man, I'm just saying. Jess, seriously.
All I have to say is I have to stop making assumptions because, like, every assumption I made was wrong. It's like, boom. Like, when I first heard it, and then I thought it was a white guy. Boom, no, Asian guy. And then I was like, okay, he's probably a local. No, boom, came from Hammett. I'm just like, so honestly, I'm just going to stop making assumptions.
This is one of those stories. It doesn't fit anything, man. It doesn't fit anything. I had a whole bunch of assumptions. I'm like, okay, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe it's this. Even I'm confused, right? It's like, it's so confusing. Unless they say, okay, this guy had a beef with someone. This is why he did it. Then hopefully it'll like all fall into place. Why he has a white van, I don't know. Did someone pay him to do this? You know, did they hold his family hostage? Like, that would be an interesting film, but I think this guy just lost it. I think you're right, Patricia. I think you called it, and I think it's right. So there you go. Big shout out to Ma, who's tuning on social media, says, good morning. Again, I tell her, be careful where you go, man, all right? I mean, even the church people were like, I'm like, dude, stay home, dude, do it on Zoom. You have that for a reason. Don't be dumb about it. Anyway, that's what I'm sticking to it. So there you go. All right, Jess, what do you got going on?
Oh my god. So yeah, my weekend was less chaotic. I got a chance to watch the first 5 episodes of that 90s show, actually.
Oh, you know, I saw a trailer of it with Kutcher and his lady, right? And I thought it was well. Let me put this. Was it good?
I actually enjoyed it for a few reasons. One, they're not relying on the older cast. It's focusing on Red and Kitty, which is the grandparents, and the kids.
Got it. Okay. Well,
So,
and I think throughout they're gonna have little like cameos of the others.
yeah, little cameos, but there's not like heavily reliant on that.
Let me ask you this: why are the kids there? Because I saw the trailer of what's his name, the Red's husband.
Eric.
He's funny, man.
No,
I
wait.
love that guy.
You talk about the son, right?
No. The father. He's like, no.
Kurtwood Smith, yeah.
Yeah, he's fun. I love that guy. I remember him. I think he used to be in a lot of Star Trek episodes, and he used to like have like a lot of makeup on. And then I saw him in that. I'm like, but I just love his character because he's like, no, why? You know, he's like, no, I thought we were over this. You know what I mean? Because everybody like, you know, no longer there. So anyway, so I do kind of want to see it. What's it on again?
It is on Netflix, and the whole reason why they're staying there. It's actually pretty funny. It was just okay, that makes kind of sense.
Yeah, I want to. Well, that's my question. So they're staying there. Is that because like did they just drop them off? Are they like what's the scenario? Because I told people even now, like in the 90s, did that happen? I guess if you married young or you got together young, I could see that happening. I'm not really sure the situation there, but I think it's a way to tell a story. It's what's happening now. A lot of kids are moving in with their parents and even grandparents. You know what I mean?
Yes, actually, the whole point of it is pretty much they were visiting them for the beginning of summer break,
Okay.
4th of July party. And then eventually she's like, you know what? I want to stay here. I want to make some friends for the summer. And that's how it starts.
Got it. Okay. So they kind of hang out there. Okay, so it's a place to be. Well, they got the basement and they got just all that stuff. So you know what? I'm. Let me put it this way. I think they need to do not just Netflix, because if you've noticed, all reboots and stuff have gone on Netflix and then they die, right? So I think they need to bring it on a network soon, and then they could keep it alive all the way, because it's done in the same like all of this stuff is the original, and you almost wonder how when they end a show, how do they bring all that stuff back? Because you know what, they usually put it in storage, so they put all that stuff in storage. They don't like tear it down and just dismantle it and get rid of it. They usually keep it, and I think it's pretty cool because they it matches the original one. So anyway, there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And I like the way they shoot it, because it's still shot in the way it was shot in the 70s show. So I'm glad they did that instead of doing a new, you know what I mean? But it is that 90s show. So although they dress kind of like 60s, 70s-ish, but, I'm all right with that. Oh, and 80s-ish. I see that there. But, we dressed a lot of ways in the 90s. So there you go. Anyway, I think it's a show for like if you went you were in grammar school or high school. I think some of the kids that are now 18, 20, they don't get it. They don't understand it, right?
Okay, so somebody was pointing out on TikTok, they were showing how one of the characters had a watch, and they're all like, "Uh-oh, they messed up. They had a Apple Watch on their set." And I looked at the watch and I put my head down and shaking. I'm like, these young kids. The kid had a Casio calculator watch. You remember?
You're like, dude, that was cool back then. We know that because they had the calculator, right?
I knew what it was. I'm like, oh, I feel so old now.
Yeah, and they brought those back. No, they brought those back, Jess. So they're actually more recent. But I remember thinking, okay, I can finally do my calculations. But then, if you do it for the teacher, we didn't do it for the teacher because it was known as cheating. You couldn't do that. You had to do it the long way. So you had to figure that out. But we didn't have core like you guys do, so we had it easier. I didn't know we were going to have it that easy. Anyway, that's the story I'm going to stick to. Okay, we got to take a break. We'll be right back with more after this.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
Out the door, in the car, off to work. The same old morning routine. Take a break and stop for hot coffee or a latte and a fresh homemade cinnamon roll or chocolate cream puff. Donut Delight on Highland Springs Road in Banning is a locally owned family business with a friendly staff and customers who are always glad to see you. Get your morning off to a great start at Donut Delight on the corner of Highland Springs Road and Ramsey Street right off the I-10 freeway. Serving the Pass area for 22 years. Donut Delight is open at 4:30 a.m. daily.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Pumbas non stunad.
SID, there is no such words in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian Radio Show, presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490, or stream us live 24/7 from our website at WCIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want that we should have to tell you twice.
Standard time is here. That means shorter days and cooler nights that make you want to stay inside. Don't get caught in the cold. Franklin Mechanical Systems can do a preventative maintenance check on your heating unit. Get it working right. For cleaning, repair, or a new installation, call them for a free estimate. Franklin Mechanical Systems, for all your residential and commercial heating and air conditioning needs. Call their Beaumont office at 951-845-1000. That's 951-845-1000, and stay warm today.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control and in many cases taxes get the breathing room you need. Garnished wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call the Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel lending team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel lending team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for tuning in on social media. Again, it's in the news, Monterey Park. They're calling it a massacre. That's pretty much what it is. And so there you go. Jess, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of like, okay, you know what? I want to keep it positive. I didn't even want to talk about that. I know I have to talk about it because, you know, it's the area. I want to keep people safe, especially people that I know. And I'm not going to lie, I really want Chinese food right now. But here's the question, Jess. What happens when they say the inner, like, all the stuff of, like, the earth go the other way? What do you think happens?
The earth spins the... Are we going back in time? Oh, why does this sound familiar? Uh-oh. Where are we going?
Just come on. You got it. Just say it. Just say it.
I don't know.
Okay. So this is...
Are the poles going to be flipping?
Well, let me put it this way. Everything I observed at a certain time, and I talked about it on the show, I said I think that the poles have already shifted, but they haven't said anything. Because I noticed some things on my compass. North was south and south was north. Okay, and I was kind of like, and I showed it to a person. I said, "Do you see that?" And then it kind of like flipped again, and it flipped again, and it flipped again. Now that was a season where we had probably the highest index rating. People wore sunglasses. Everybody was getting burnt during the day, and I think in a way it already did. They were talking about, and they thought, oh, it's going to happen sometime in the next so many years, but I think it already happened. So there's a lot of questions on this. But I saw this just now, and I'm like, excuse me? According to this, here's the headline. All right, I got to read this. Earth's inner core may have started spinning the other way, according to a study.
Okay. Well, with all these weather phenomena, that would explain a lot of things.
No, Jess. Oh. No. You're thinking the outside of the Earth. You got to think the inside of the Earth.
Yes.
Okay,
Continue.
Remember the movie Core?
Yes, I remember. It stopped.
But that was the magma.
Yeah.
You know what the core is, according to science?
A ball of liquid iron.
We'll just call it iron.
Yeah.
It says here, a giant may have started moving against us, which makes sense on some things that I've seen, and I would say even physics don't add up. And I think it happened, but I don't know what caused it. I think no one knows that. So people go, okay, what could have caused that? Now, in the movie Core, it was like something that the government wasn't talking about, but it was something that the scientist that was with them was like, yeah, we've been working on this for a while. We may have created a problem. And that was like something like, and people talk about HARP, they talk about DARPA, they talk about all kinds of things that are weather-related, back to what you're saying, but they cause things on the Earth, but sometimes they can cause problems underneath the Earth. Can they cause an earthquake in an area? That's what the movie's about. The answer, military-wise, could they? Would they? They want to create a problem? They could, right? So that was kind of a warning of, if they have this, could it create a problem for the Earth? Now, I don't know what else can answer that, Jess, but I can say this. There's been some weird things with time, with like things that you go, are we living in the, people have said, are we living in a matrix? Are we living in a world? I've seen some things reverse in front of me. I've said this to people. I said, if you ever have anything like that, just say it. You probably thought no and yes and no. I've had people go, did the time just change? Like in a weird way, did it go backwards? I've had that. I had a conversation on big screen VR with a bunch of people saying, you know what? I saw time almost stop in a way, but I'm like, were you high? You know, so I'm like, if you weren't high, which I'm not, I don't use drugs. I would be like, okay, if you're lucid and you understand what's going on around you, okay, I can see that. Because I've seen some weird things where I never talk about it. So if you've seen some weird things, it could be related or not. I really don't know. People always go, huh, what? No, that doesn't make sense. But if you see a bunch of people suddenly say, yeah, physics don't add up. I remember one time, water in my glass not adding up. It was like tilted, but it was on a level plane because water shouldn't tilt. It should always be horizontal with the earth. But I remember when this happened in 2020, okay? Around, I'll say anywhere from, because I wasn't really watching, but I would say around October, November, and December, which was weird because we were in pandemic time, right? So it's like, but there were some weird things that were happening, at least, you know. So let me read this, okay? Because this is science, all right? So if anyone is wondering or has seen some weird stuff, this is science, okay? Earth's inner core, which they say is a hot iron ball, all right? They really don't know. It's theorized. It's not like they could go all the way down and see it, right? But it's theorized. Has stopped spinning in the same direction as the rest of the planet. How do they know that, Jess? Oh, you know what they can do? They actually can do this. And in the movie Core, I show my mom. Oh, now I know why. And you know what? There are extreme events that happen all around the world because of the inner. Oh, I said it. I said, Ma, you got to pay attention to this because this is a thing that may happen at some point. I said there are electrical problems. There are things that happen with the atmosphere. There are things that happen like because we're electrical beings. We're very sensitive to this. If you get dizzy, all of a sudden this, that, and this. So, Jess, this is the science of it. Okay, so this is according to science. Okay, it says here below the surface we live on, this planet within the planet can spin independently because it floats in the liquid metal outer core. Okay. Exactly how the inner core rotates has been a matter of debate between scientists, and the latest research is expected to be something that people are going to talk about for some time. What little is known about the core comes from measuring the differences in seismic waves. Oh, seismic waves, they're judging that. Okay. Created by earthquakes or sometimes nuclear explosions as they pass through the Earth. Okay. Now, it says, seeking to track the core's movements, research published in the journal Nature's Geoscience. Okay, it says a lot of stuff. You're going to be bored by this, just not going to lie. But let me put it this way. There was a theory that we have lost time as well, in a way, but they don't say that. They say the Earth may be spinning either fast or slow at certain times. Now, there is a wobble. Now, in 2020 to 2021, if you notice the sun was more further south than it should have been. And it was a weird winter. Okay, 2020 was a weird winter. Okay, if you remember that, it was more warm than not. That's why some people were like, Christmas story here? Like, people were kind of weird at the end of 2020. Okay, and I know because I've asked some people. I said, when did that happen for you? I said, because that happened for me at the same time. Okay, so all I can say is this, Jess, we're living on a Earth which has stopped like acting normal. So the question is, has it done that before? What happens around it? So the movie Core and The Day After Tomorrow, if you put them together, they actually make sense. You got to get rid of the hey, we could go down to the core, restart it with certain explosions. And if you do the math on that, it really didn't happen. Like they pretty much probably died. Like it was kind of dumb that way. But the science of it is there and I get how they're, I think, measuring it back to waves. I'll read this story so I can make more sense of it. But the point is, Jess, it makes sense. If you've seen anything in 2020, 2021, and 2022 that was weird, yeah, I don't know how to say it, Jess. You know how you say sometimes like, okay, I'll say this. People have shown video, and some of it's augmented reality, so you can't be like, okay, that's, something. But some people are like, dude, I've seen some weird stuff in the air. What's going on? Are there UFOs? Now there's reports about that. There's, objects in certain areas. Some of it's just fake. I've seen some fake stuff. But then there's some stuff that the Pentagon are saying, dude, we're trying to make sense of this. So now I think the science is here and it's coming out with more scientists saying, is it a possibility? Black hole is in the area, right? What can a black hole do to the physics of time? If you think that way, you might know the answer, Jess. But the reality is, we never knew a black hole. But I will say this: I was at an event. It was called the Conscious Expo. It was in LA. I think it was in 2015 or 16. And a person was there. I had him on the show. That was when I had a show called Live with Aaron and Kelly. Okay? And I had him on the show, but he didn't talk about it because I didn't ask him. I didn't know to ask him. But in a way, he said, look, I've been at NASA, and just so you know, there's a black hole behind the sun. And I'm like, that's weird. Why would you say that? Now, that's all he said at the event. And I know because we were broadcasting it, okay? I had a team. We were broadcasting that event. So I was on one of the cameras, right? When I heard that, I said, huh. And I said, okay, well, that's odd. And everybody was very like, okay, whatever. And some were like, that's weird. And I'm like, this guy must be making that up, right? A part of me said that. The other part was like, I need to know more, right? Now, since then, he's done some stuff. He's talked about some stuff where I was like, okay, that's a little like, eh. Like, oh, you could look at, the eclipse and be all right with it. I go, no, yeah, well, maybe you can. I don't really know. I just don't want, you know what I mean? Like, there's stuff that I don't want to, like, put out there. Does that make sense? But I had him on the show and I talked about something. He had done, like, a story. He does stuff with metaphysics. So I'm kind of like, okay, I don't believe that stuff. I'm whatever. But I always had this theory about black hole. But then all of a sudden, and then we had an event when I was in Victorville where they were talking about certain things that they discovered based on some things that Einstein kind of in a way put out there, but it wasn't proven until recent. Then we had like somebody from JPL. She had worked with like this guy, astrophysicist. He helped Interstellar, that movie with Christopher Nolan. He helped, that one where they see the event horizon. He helped come up with the physics of that. It's concept. It's basically a computer going, okay, this is what it would look like around it. But nobody's been able to see, like, you could see somewhat a black hole, but you can't get that clear. So he helped the science of what Christopher Nolan was trying to do with that in a way, like, if there were a black hole, what would it do to the Earth, okay? So the movie Interstellar is really about, they don't really say it, but it's really about the Earth because they kind of go through wormhole and all this, like, why is it there, this, that, and the other. But in a way, I think if they just say, it's about a Earth going into a black hole at some point, that's why the Earth becomes, like, everything becomes light, and then, like, dust storms and all that, like gravity changes, it shifts, okay? A black hole can change the physics of a area if you think in this way. Black hole, which they've already confirmed, is in the middle of our galaxy, right? Which should kind of alarm people. Now it's alarming people. People go, wait, there's nothing good about black hole. But what are you going to do about it? So you can't stress out. You go, okay. So there you go. Does that make sense, Jess?
In a way, it does. Yeah. I remember when, what was it, Interstellar first came out, everyone's all like, oh, wow, that black hole scene was amazing. And then I think last year when they finally released the picture of an actual black hole, and it was eerily similar to Interstellar.
Well, it is and isn't, because they compiled a bunch of data. I saw there's a good documentary on that, Black Hole on Netflix. Did you see it?
Yeah. No, I did not.
Yeah, watch that, because that's more the science of it. Because what they did was they just showed the one from the movie as a black hole. That's not it. It's nothing like it. But what it's called Black Hole. And it's on Netflix. I watched it. It's really good, by the way. If you want to get smart really quick, watch that. Okay, it's a documentary about when they were discovering a black hole, and when they confirmed it. So how long it's been here, we don't know, right? Okay, it's called Black Holes: The Edge of All We Know. Okay, but that was just after the time Stephen Hawking died. But they were always theorizing about black hole. What is it about black hole we need to know? Now, when you know all of a sudden it's right there in the middle of our own galaxy, the question is everything being spun into it and or out of it? Now, when they have a cool telescope like they do, right, and it sees way beyond another area, and they see that black hole release certain stuff, you go, okay, that's interesting. The question always is, if things go in a black hole, do they come out somewhere else? Kind of like a wormhole. I would say no, but you know what? I could be wrong. But let's just say, Jess, for sake of anything, if you went into a black hole, would time slow down and would you know it?
I do not think you'll know it, but it would be interesting to find out.
In a way, you would and wouldn't, because you're living at the time of everything else. In a way, so everything's consistent in that way. So you could be going slow to somebody on the outside, but you could be going kind of in a way, somewhat, kind of, it's all over the place. But the question is this. If it happened, right, and I think that's the question of, but what do we do? So would things warp? Would we see a black hole coming? Would it be that quick and fast? What's going on? But when you have like black hole in another part of space and time, somewhere else, way beyond, you're like, okay, big deal, whatever, okay, it's a thing. But when you have it like in your own like center of the universe, that's a question. Does it ever not happen? And I think that movie Interstellar is really about that. I think he kind of got it wrong about the wormhole part, and they just put it there. I think if anything, they're like, dude, escape here. You know what I mean? If you have the science, go through this, right? But get out of that area of space, And there are a thing, if you think of like water, and I say this to scientists, okay, out there, if you're listening, if you think of water, a wormhole is like a little tunnel in water, okay? It's like the movie Nemo. When the turtles go, whoa, yeah, they go through the water. It's called a jet stream. If you think of a wormhole like a jet stream, you think of space like water, then you understand. Lack of gravity is like water. That's why they train NASA people in water. Zero gravity is what they call it. It's the closest thing. It's not 100% zero gravity, obviously, when you're on the Earth. But if you put a pool of water in space, it goes all over the place. That's why they don't do it. But if you keep it in like a canister and you do that, I think it would be interesting to see the dynamics of water in space and time. Because time kind of is different on the outside, they say, but I theorize it's not. They say, oh, it's light years away. That's the way travel is understood. But if you see light all of a sudden from a star, they say, oh, it takes time to travel to here. Not really. Light is so fast. I think the calculations are off. You turn the light switch off or you turn it on, you will see it miles away almost at the same time. I say this to any person out there, go to the moon, do one of those laser pointers, say, okay, I put it at this time, make sure your time's exact, and then calculate the nanosecond or the millisecond of the nanosecond of the millisecond all at once, and then you'll figure out the time. Because I would say, actually, if you see the light, it doesn't take the light to travel here. It's just that's how long it takes to travel there. Somebody's calculation is off. I think Hawking, if you were alive, you would agree. But the point is this, Jess. Black hole can create a problem for the environment of the people in it. And that's where we're at. So that's what you have to understand. Yes, it may be, as they say, in order to travel from here to the black moon. Why would you want to travel to the black moon? I'm sorry, not black moon. To a black hole. Why would you want to travel to a black hole? You wouldn't. Okay, you want to get away from a black hole. Does that make sense, Jess?
Yeah, in a way. I'd be like,
so you want to go to a black hole, Jess?
No, not unless there's a way to write it into a new dimension. So until we can do that, let's do that.
I like what you just said. Write it into a new dimension. I think that would be interesting. Like if you had nothing to gain, right? The question is, okay, you remember when they pointed like sound to a black hole and they heard like those
I remember.
Are those people going, or are they just talking? Go, yo, what's up? I don't know what's up. You know what I mean? But it's slowed down so much to us on the outside that we hear it different. I'm just theorizing here, right? It's interesting science. It's interesting. Some would say, no, man, that's science fiction. I say, yeah, but they have confirmed, according to that. But somehow the science community didn't really let it out. And back to the movie that you like to see, Don't Look Up. What is it the government isn't telling us that's there?
Right? I'd be like, if they're telling you to do something, I'm probably going to end up doing it.
That's where I think Musk knows a little bit more, right? I think his ability to create certain rockets, but even he has said, look, man, we are on a path of destruction eventually. So I think he's living his life the best he could. But in a way, it's like, okay, what next? I think it's too big for people to get their heads around. But I say you might as well get your head around that, be safe, what you do, and then say, you know what? if there's a God or creator out there of stuff that we do not understand, can you please pray for us? Just like, you know what, can you keep us safe? So there you go. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. There you go. All right, Jess, I know you got a story. What are you working on?
Well, let's stick with the space theme. Did you hear Buzz Aldrin just got married?
I did, to a lady who I say, you know what, good job.
I was not even aware he was alive. I thought he passed away like 2-3 years ago.
I think that's a different one. Was that Neil Armstrong? Neil Armstrong, didn't it? Or was he alive?
You know what? I don't know. Maybe I got them mixed up. I could have sworn he passed away. I don't remember. So
Buzz
I
Aldrin,
remember.
you know what I think of when I hear that? I think Buzz Lightyear. That's what I think. I think that movie was loosely based on him. He kind of has the same like build. You know what I mean?
You know what? It very well might be. That would be actually pretty cool.
Yeah, but you know, I think the lady that he hooked up with, I'm glad. Some men, when they're older in life, they kind of just like, no, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. He finally tied the knot, and I think it's good. I know she's younger than him. He'll obviously die before her. But the point is this. At least, I don't know if he has children. I don't know if he had another relationship or a marriage. You know, you do the math. He's in his 90s. How old is she?
Ooh, you know what? I'm afraid to look. But either way, he looks happy.
She's like in her 50s or 60s, right?
I believe so. It looks like she's about that age.
Yeah. And she's happy. You could tell.
Yeah,
but
they look happy.
Yeah. So I think they were probably seeing each other because they said long time. So they're probably seeing each other, and finally he did what I say is the right thing. Some say no, it's not the right thing. But he made commitment, and he looks good for his age. But I think in a way, it's like, at least for her, it's commitment that you should make anyway. You know what I mean? I don't know how long they've been. Does it say how long they've been seeing each other?
No, it does not. See, he has married for the fourth time to his 63-year-old companion. Oh, see, she's 63. She don't look too bad.
Wait, say that again. He married for the fourth time. So he has other wives.
Yeah, he was married 4 times.
Well, he makes commitment. But it doesn't say how long they dated? What? He's a commitment man.
No, it does not say how long they were looking at each other for, so...
Look at each other? No, they weren't looking, man. They were like, yo, what's up? You don't think a man like that can get it on, Jess?
I'm not here to judge. This is I'm just trying to be like, oh, it's romantic. I don't want to know what they're doing together in locked rooms. Okay.
Dude, they got married for a reason. All right, blah, blah, blah. Patricia says this. We need, let's see. Oh, she posted something. Oh, about magnetic polarity. Says once the horizon is reached, it would distort matter so extreme there would be no survival. That's a theory. But I have a theory of this. What if you went in, you didn't know you went in, and then you came out the other side? I think, if anything, either you're... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to talk about this because I think it's a little long. Anyway, we're out of time here on the radio show. I keep on Facebook. Follow me, Aaron M. Sanchez. You can follow Jess over on social media. Follow me. I am Jesse Sanchez. All right, people, we're out. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living, and be safe out there. All right, I'm going to talk real quick, and I'm glad, Patricia, you posted that. I can't click on it where I'm at right now. I'm going to have to look at that. There's a lot of theory about, thank you, Mike, who's tuning in, Rowena tuning in, Patricia tuning in, thank you, Steph. On Twitter, we thank you guys as well. LinkedIn, I know we're streaming there. Just follow me, Aaron M. Sanchez. Okay, so we got on this subject because this headline really came out to me, and I said, okay, what does that mean for the Earth, okay? Because it's very rare that you ever see something like this. And you got to almost like understand it, but the information is so long, you go, okay, do I really want to understand it? And here's the headline. Earth's inner core may have started spinning other way according to a study. From the information that, and thank God for scientists to make sense of this, okay? Sometimes movies make sense, and then they add to what we know, and sometimes they don't make sense, and, whatever. But in this way, I'm gonna read it again, because this is the part where I go, wait, what? So it says this, according to this, now you have to understand there's magma, right? We understand magma. We go back to school, right? The red stuff, right? That comes out of volcanoes. Now, this is a time where we had probably the most amount of volcanoes in 2021 than we ever had. And I reported this. I said, this is going to create a problem for the Earth's atmosphere. It's going to create a problem. It's going to be extreme weather, all this and that, okay? There's been big explosions. Tonga was a huge one. And so the question is, what happens to the magma when it gets disrupted on the inside of the Earth? The answer, well, a lot of problems on the outside of the Earth, right? Called explosion. Here, there, and everywhere, right? So the question is this: what's happening to the what they call inner core, but I just call it core. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of like inner core, core, and all other core. Just be core, okay? The core. If you think of like a the only thing that's probably close, avocado. Perfect example. A avocado, imagine it round, okay? It's right there, round. Now, as a round avocado, you have the pit, right? The pit is what they call the layer of stuff around it, but I say it's not that. The pit is the pit, right? That thing you can like take and you can seed it, right? Okay. When you take it out, you have a imprint, right? Of like, it's not going anywhere, right? Now, the magma is like the part which you eat, okay? And that part is filled with stuff that's really good for you, okay? That's why it creates like land, it creates soil, all the minerals that we have on this earth. It's been there from the start, okay? When the earth was first, there's a lot of things that come together. There's a way to like, whatever. The point is this is the way planets develop in a way. And you really have to look at other planets that are in a way, because there's some planets that don't rotate, by the way. I'll give you the moon, okay? People go, why does the moon not rotate and it only faces one way, right? If you ever think that way, you go, huh. But if you think of something hollow-ish, did it ever erupt before and all the stuff from the inside came out? Because it's the inside that keeps it spinning, okay? And if you understand that, then you understand, huh. So that's why this is a little alarming, okay? I always say this at the end, but all right, I'm not going to alarm you. Whatever. Here it is. It says this. The study's authors, Song and Yang of China's Peking University, very smart people, said they found that the inner core's rotation came to a halt. I didn't even know this was a thing. Around 2009 and then turned in an opposite direction. Oh, didn't know. It says, we believe the inner core rotates relative to the Earth's surface back and forth like a swing. Okay, well, that's good. We're still here. It says one cycle of the swing is about 7 decades. Okay, all right. So like 70 years. Got it. Meaning it changes direction roughly every 35 years. That's bad math, guys. Seriously. Which is it? 7 decades. A decade is 10. So, I mean, seriously. I think their math's off, so maybe I don't trust this article. I don't know. I'm going to read it still. It says, they said it previously changed direction in the 70s and predicted the next phase would be the mid-2040s. Man, their math is way off. The researchers said this rotation lines up with changes in what is called the length of day, small variations in the exact time it takes Earth to rotate on its axis. I will say this. The Earth has rotated weird as of late. They talk about the wobble. They talk about polar shift. They talk about all that. And if you've been watching that, and I know I could tell, Patricia, you're one of those that's very smart about that, then you understand, okay, got it. Thanks, Mike. He says, came in to say hi for the porcelain throne. Got it. Whatever. Thank you for sharing. Flush. Wash your hands. Be safe. Okay, it says here, so if you had like a moment where you go, huh, I remember a moment. I'm going to say this, okay? I've already said it to someone. Physicists talk to me. In December 2020, there was a very weird moment. It was midnight, and then it was like 4 o'clock. All of a sudden, I didn't fall asleep. I was standing the whole time. It was weird. I don't know how that changes time, but whatever. So I'm just saying that. Okay, so whoever's listening, if you had a weird moment like that and you thought, that's weird, just know you're not alone. And then say, hey, and inbox me. Okay, I asked for these things. That way I could, get someone smart, and maybe we could get them on the show and be like, okay, guys, this is really a thing. Because I think smart people will understand they weren't alone. Some would think, like, that's weird, and that's weird, but no one's going to believe me. They're going to think I'm crazy. But when you understand physics are weird when there's a black hole in the middle of our, right there, then you go, okay, that makes sense. So that's all I'm going to say about that. But it says here, there's little to indicate that the inner core does have an effect on surface dwellers. I say, no, not really. This article is written wrong. If you look at core, the problem with the magma going in one direction and then almost coming to a standstill is there's electricity charge that happens because of the inner core. if you know anything about, and they say but there's so many things that the core is made of. But it's hard to understand that until you think avocado. Okay, the avocado in a way is there, but people go, why is it there? Well, they go, well, that's the same, but why is it so big? Now, if you open up the core of an avocado, you'll see the innards of it are completely different. You wouldn't even it's so like, wow. And you got to get through that big hard piece on the outside. That piece is what I would say is more of the iron, magnesium, all the hard surface material. Okay, so there's a theory that in that there's more stuff on the inside. But the question I have is this. Let's go back to the moon. Okay, the moon stopped spinning because in a way all of the magma is gone from it. It's been from it for a long time, right? Some planets have more than one moon. Okay, people go, what is a moon? Right? And it has gravitational pull. That's why in certain areas there's certain high tide, low tide, whatever, right? Okay. That's pretty reliable because it continuously spins around us. Thank God it doesn't get closer. Back to the movie Moonfall, which is an interesting movie, and then they go all over the place, right? But there's science there. That's why they kind of use the science, and you go, okay, what's the science, what's the real science, and what's just, fun for a show, right? So they kind of lost me at the end. I'm like, okay, whatever. But the point is this. Is it hollow? The answer... People have theories on that. Can you drill in it? Yes. Why would you want to if it's hollow? Could it crack bigger? Yes, it could. Don't drill. Yeah. So let me read the rest of this. It says researchers say they believe there were physical links between Earth's layers from the inner core to the... Okay, let me stop there. It's confusing the way they say it. But if you think avocado, you get it. Okay? And that's what science kind of needs to go, I get it. You just think avocado, you think the way it is, and then you think of the outside of the part when you take the core out and you just leave that. That's the nutritious part. That's what we get on the earth, right? That's why I say get out of the area of like a volcano because obviously it's going to erupt and it's going to spread all over. It's going to create land, right? And it's very nutrient rich, very nutrient rich. Some say, oh, there's gold in them hills. It actually has a lot of minerals that kind of come all together, all right? So, yeah, after some time when it's cooled, or you have a way of cooling it, you could take some of that and you can do some stuff with it. But let's go thousands of years in the future, right? And for some of you, you're like, no, it takes longer than that. Okay, sure. Let's go millions of years in the future. Let's say all the magma finally comes out. It doesn't go back down. It creates an outer. Does that make sense? It creates an outer. Once all the in is out, take all the avocado out, you have that layer, the wrapping, that's the core. I'm sorry, that's the core, yeah. Okay, that's the crust. Does that make sense? That's the crust of our Earth. So that's a thin layer, right? That's the part that cracks, right? And if you've ever like done avocado, sometimes it peels very easy, but it's thick-ish, but it's not all thick, right? It's thick enough to keep everything in, thank God. But if like you puncture a hole from the inside out, would you have avocado coming out? Technically, yes, you would. Right? Take a pin, boop, there you go. That's how much pressure is exerted in all sorts of places. So when you have volcanoes all over the earth, those are weak spots, kind of like your skin, right? Those are weak spots on your skin that you have a little like you have a little like, yeah, people hate it, but it's called a pimple. That's what a volcano is. A volcano is a pimple, right? So you have pressure. It's got to go somewhere. It doesn't go back down. It's got to come up and out. Does that make sense? So in a way, the thing that keeps us spinning, if you think of moon, if a moon doesn't spin, it lays, in a way, just there, but it lays there because there's no inner magma. If you think that way, then you understand why this is a very important science. But I say some of the theories are off. I think if anything, let me scroll down because I got a lot of things here. Okay, here it is. Geophysicists are divided. That makes sense. And there's all kinds of theories out there on this science. But I think back to why the story was written. I think it was written, I think the information's like, okay, here's what they've been theorizing. Okay. But according to this, I think we got to keep it very simple. When you have it... Oh, they got it wrong. It's not the core that's... Because the core stays like avocado. Oh, they always theorize it's the core which makes the Earth spin. It's not. You got to think water. It's the magma. Magma is liquid. So liquid continues in one direction, and it continues in that way. When it doesn't, that's when the Earth stops. Oh, that's a problem. Yeah, you don't want... Okay. And thank God we're not there. We're not there. Okay. If the Earth had no more magma on the inside, right? Thank God for water. Water cools it, all that, right? But let's say it was like the moon, right? You would want to be... Well, that would be a problem. It would be all hot all the time. It would be at a good distance, but it would be hot all the time. We would just stop spinning. I'm not sure how that like creates problems for like other stuff when it comes to time and all that. Anyway, there's some weird stuff, so there you go. I'm just gonna stop there. There you go. You can theorize, watch the movie Core. You'll understand why you got to keep it spinning, because it creates problems on the Earth's outer crust. The outer crust is where the problem is at, and that's why we have extreme weather. And I would say the polar shift definitely happened in 2018. That's when I remember seeing it. I go, huh, that's weird. Maybe it was 2019. 2018, 2019, 2020. But anyway, yeah. People that understand, if you ever saw a time, I have to look at the research, but I remember seeing it, and I didn't say anything except to one person. I said, do you see that? Isn't that weird? And I saw it over a weekend. And I was in Santa Monica and in Whittier at the time. And I saw it. The north was south and south was north. Just so you know. So that's what I'm going to say about it. All right, people, I'm out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.